So, about making plated mail. I find it easiest to actually make the mail first to get the dimensions and size and placement right, and then remove rings when I want to add plates in here. That way I can keep it uniform and very clean. Now, this is pretty awful because you have to remove specific rings, and when you start working with the mail in all kinds of different angles and bunched up like this, you very easily lose your placement, shall we say, in the weave. So you kind of want to have, you want to keep the order of rings in mind when you start doing this. So I have right now removed one ring here. Let's see if I can point with something better. One ring between these two. So I can count 1, 2, 3. So I would remove that ring and then remove 1, 2, 3, 4. And that would be same placement as this, but simply, let's see if I can check it. So 1, 2, 3, that one. So here would be 1, 2, 3, yeah. And here, for this size, it needs 3 rings on the top and 3 rings at the bottom. And to give it enough space in the weave, it takes about 7 rings. So in counting that, 1, 2, 3, I would remove here this ring. Oop, did I lose it? Yep, I lost it. So this is why it's very time consuming and very annoying to deal with this. And you have to have good pliers. So if I remove this one ring, I start on the next hole for this. I'm not going to do the whole thing. Or maybe I will, but I'm just not going to talk through it. But, come on. That's one ring. So I would remove 3 more rings. These 3. So that it would be, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I would take above 2 and below 2. That would be 3 plus 4. And I'll just do that and you can watch. If not, just click off. You do get better at this with time, but it becomes very, how should I put it? I sometimes joke that this is what having Alzheimer's or dementia feels like, because you feel like you're constantly going crazy. You look like, I should take one more ring here, but it looks like I shouldn't because it looks like it's, I've removed 3 rings, what the fuck? One, two, yeah? What the fuck? Now I'm confused. Did I remove one more ring? See, now I should remove these 2. But I only have 3 rings removed here. How is that possible? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 3 rings. Oh yeah, it's 3 plus 4. So I took it. it makes you feel like you're going crazy because you have a number in your mind and then you're doing something relatively complex, relatively challenging, relatively difficult, requiring dexterity and keeping in mind numbers and observing what's going on. So even though I did nothing wrong previously, but because I was counting, I was thinking, oh, there should be 4 rings. There should be 4 rings. Why 4 rings? It's just a mistake on my part. So this is something that's very annoying in that you constantly feel like you're going crazy. And unless you start, like, it takes a while to fall into the rhythm of it, which makes it a little bit easier. But until you get into that point, it's just like, you keep asking yourself, am I lost? Did I put it in the wrong place? Is this going to work? It's extremely, extremely tiresome. Hence, you feel like you're constantly having dementia. But yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 rings. So the hole looks this way. The hole looks quite big. And getting that plate in there requires a bit of work. And that's the second annoying bit, where first you have to get the right rings, which, as you see, is quite annoying. But then getting this ring in place here requires that you get these rings attaching it in the right alignment. So if this ring here, say, was the wrong way around, it would be too tight for the other rings to work, and it would stiffen this all up, and it wouldn't work. So when you start opening up these rings, you have to be very careful how you do it. Because first of all, you don't want it to... Where's the opening? There's the opening. You don't want the ring to get lost and start unraveling. Second, you want to have it keep it the right way up. And then you want to be able to get it in there. And I'm holding it very tightly here. Let's see if I can show this a little bit better. I'm a little bit scared because this is going to fall off, of course. You probably can't see shit. So getting that plate there. And closing it. It doesn't look like much yet, but it looks to be the right way in. And then you find the next rings loop. I think it's this way. So yeah, this is what it'll start to look like. So if I'll put one ring the wrong way on purpose to show what it looks like. Let's take this ring. No, that's the right way, yeah. I've gotten into a good habit, so I get it almost automatically the right way. But now if I want to show off the wrong way, it requires me to twist it up. Oop, that fell out. Good. So you get one ring in there the wrong way. Down there. Doesn't immediately pop out, but it starts becoming difficult to get these other rings attached down here because it wants to stand up right now like that. So it becomes crooked and it doesn't really want to move the right way and stiffens up the whole mail in a bad way. So you want to be careful about that. So let's undo this mess. And if you were doing this with this is button mail, with like so. Yeah, that looks better. So now it will fit in there. If you're doing this with, what's it called, the studded nail? With the rings enclosed with a stud. And this would be even more work. And because of the plate's stiffness and making it awkward to work in different angles, that would be a lot more work. That would be incredibly annoying. But the protective value would probably be worth it if you have the money to have. Fuck. And yeah. So now the ring fell out and it started opening up the weave. The ring fell out and it started opening up the weave here. So now I have to figure out which two rings it's attached to. And now it's two rings because it's middle here, but it could equally be three rings. And that would be really awkward to attach. So good pliers are really important here. And this is just so goddamn annoying. That looks to be the wrong way. No, that is the right way. So this is the main issue here. Isn't so much the strength requirements for closing the rings or having the materials. Really, it's just being able to see what the hell you're doing and knowing what to do next. Because this massive rings just blends together and you feel like you're going crazy. This really makes you feel like you're going crazy because there's constantly something you feel like, no, that shouldn't be. And then you start counting how many rings you're supposed to have there. And yeah, it makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense. And then you realize, oh, you counted wrong. It was 4. It was supposed to be 3. It's like, it's incredibly annoying. So bigger projects like these are incredibly exhausting. Which is why in a lot of male fitting projects, people really don't go for symmetry. God fuck. These pliers are not so good. Let's see how many rings there's attached. Yeah, there's 3 rings. It can unravel. Because it's the last... No, it's still 2 more rings. The more rings you attach to these plates, the more harder it becomes to get it in place. It becomes more difficult. So when you start making, you start fitting, tightening up these, you don't really start caring about keeping exact symmetry because it gets lost in the whole mess of rings. So you don't really care about that. But when you have these plates, unlike with individual rings, you will immediately notice if one of them is off. If one of these is a little bit off, it will immediately stick out. So that makes it a lot more annoying to work with. So I really don't recommend it unless you want something like this. And I actually don't want to test the protective value because it's so much actually work to make these. So I don't feel comfortable destroying it. But obviously, plates are usually more protective than just rings. So it's that way. Open it this way. So while this plier is a lot more secure because of how big it is, it's also quite difficult to get it through the loop. So that's a challenge. Like so. So even with all the talking I did, it really didn't take that much more extra time to put this one plate in place. So it's very time consuming. It's a lot of work. So really, unless you really like the look of this kind of stuff, don't bother. It's just a pain in the ass. Just fuck this shit. It's not worth it. Yeah. Bye.